Hey friends, it's Dr. Sherri here with another episode of Off the Couch. And I just wanted to come on here today and talk with you a little bit about a couple of questions that I've gotten about what I do, why I do it, and who I do it for, and really help you understand this concept. If you notice the title of this episode, I wanted to ask you, is it really as simple as mindset? And that's not really a question that I have asked. I guess I have to some degree, but really it's a question that other people have been asking me. They're watching this stuff. They're watching the episodes that I'm doing on Facebook. They're reading my material on Facebook and on Instagram, and they're asking me, Sherri, I see that you're really passionate about transforming mindsets. And really, in my mind, it's about transforming thought worlds because they are so complex and they're far from simple. But the tools to be able to transform your thought world into one that thrives, into one that creates a reality where you thrive, those are simple tools. And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about an upcoming series where I'm going to go into more detail about the things that we say to ourselves. But I want to speak particularly to you women. You guys are my passion. You guys are my heart. I am one. I've lived in the mind and body of a woman all of my life, and I have had the privilege of having many beautiful friends who are women and family members and clients and people that I've spoken to. And to be inside the heart and mind of a woman is very complex. It's far from simple. But one thing that I have come to really realize, and it's been weighing heavily on my heart lately, is for women, in our thought worlds, we are so harsh on ourselves. And most of us, for the most part, not that harsh on other people. I think when we are harsh on other people, it's because we want, something that's good for them. We want something that's right for them. But for ourselves, I've just really been thinking a lot about how we get, as women, we get so quickly depleted. And it all happens up here in this complex thought world. And we are so quick to offer grace to somebody else when something goes wrong in their life, and so fast to offer condemnation to ourselves. Do you hear that? Is that you? Am I speaking to you right now? I know that's the case for me, that it's so easy for me to offer grace to somebody else and to say, you know what, you're loved and you're valued and you're needed and you're appreciated, and don't be so hard on yourself. But when it comes to me, and when it comes to me either messing something up or believing that I messed something up, or I could have done something different, and I start to ruminate, and I just get way deep lost in my thought world. And ladies, it's a dangerous place to be, because if we stay there too long, it's almost like a pit that's really hard to get out of. We're quick to offer encouragement to other people who are in need of encouragement. And then we're quick to offer blame and self-flagellation, right? To ourselves, when things go wrong in our lives, we tend to look at what we did wrong. We tend to think about what's wrong with us. And then it becomes not just a thought about an action, did I do something? Then it devolves, our thought worlds devolve into our identity. I'm just a horrible person. I'm just not good enough. Man, I really messed that up as a mom. I'm just not a good enough mother. I'm not a good enough wife. I'm not a good enough friend. All of these things, not good enough in our jobs. I talked about this on one episode, this kind of language that we use of how we're not good enough. But we wouldn't say that to somebody else. We wouldn't say that to our best friend. We wouldn't say that to our mothers, our sisters, our children, our colleagues. We wouldn't tell them you're just not good enough. So why is it that we're so quick to do that for ourselves? And I think a lot of it has to do with these thought practices that are ingrained over years and years and years and years, from things that have been said to us, from things that have not been said to us, from examples that have been set before us, from society's messages, and most importantly, from ourselves. Look, I truly believe that we are our own worst enemies, and sometimes it's easy to look at other people in our lives and think, man, if they would just change, or if they would be different, or if this situation would just change, or this would happen for me, or that would happen for me, that then our thoughts would change. But really, I am a true believer that our realities are a direct result of our thought worlds. And sometimes we can become so mired in those thought worlds that are problematic. Look, here's what makes me an expert on what I do, right? I coach, I speak, I write mainly to women. What makes me an expert is not just having gone to school for years, not just having experience talking with women. What gives me expertise is the fact that I am willing to be vulnerable and transparent with you guys, that even though developing a thriving thought world, the tools to get there are simple. They are simple. The thought world itself is far from simple, and I live it. I live it every day. And it's my desire to walk with you, to have you walk alongside me so that you know you're not alone. You know, that's what we do as women. We kind of retreat when we start to have these negative thoughts and negative self-evaluations. We really don't talk to each other about it. And that was the whole impetus behind Off the Couch, was to talk about things that we don't talk about, because we should not be walking in that thought world alone. Again, it's a very dangerous place. And I don't even use that term dangerous lightly. I mean, when we get caught up in a mindset that is problematic, in a mindset that devolves into questioning our identity, questioning our value, our worth, that bleeds out into our reality. It bleeds out into our relationship with our children, with our spouses, with our significant others, with our colleagues, with people who are with our clients, right? We have to practice what we preach. And hey, listen, I am the first to admit that there are days, you guys, where I am a pro at captivating all of these harmful, negative thoughts in this vast thought world in my head and putting them in their place and putting them where they belong, or using them to inform me, right? And then there's other days where I just let those puppies out of captivity and they just run rampant in my mind. And what I have to do is I have to be honest with myself, and I have to say, look, where am I at right now? What am I doing? Am I in a place that I need something outside of me? And that's the biggest key that I've learned, you guys, is that when you, as a woman in particular, when you get mired down in a thought world of negativity, of self-blame, of not being able to extend yourself grace, of discouragement, of self-flagellation, of wondering why, you know, what did you do wrong to deserve something, or not deserving, you know, not feeling deserving of a reality that's radiant, like I talk about, right? When you get stuck in that place, it is difficult to impossible to get out of it on your own. And I have developed so many tools over the years, both for myself and for the women that I've worked with, tools that are outside of you that you can use to be able to get out of that. Because when we're in it, when we're stuck in that cycle, in that negative mindset, and negative mindset is far too simple to describe what happens up here. And I don't plan to deduce anybody's thought worlds to simplicity, but the tools to change your thought world are simple. But it's really up to you. You know, we're in a society of quick fixes where people want a pill, or they want somebody to just tell them what to do. But sometimes, even if somebody tells you what to do, it's tough work. Like personal training, you know, a personal trainer can't come to you and say, here's everything you've got to do, but then you go home and wait until the next week to do anything that they've said. You have to practice it day in and day out. And that's my commitment to you, is that I don't get it right 100% of the time, but I promise you that I practice what I preach every single day. And it works if I work it. I know I sound a little bit like an AA meeting, but it does work if you work it. And so I want to encourage you over the coming weeks. I'm going to be giving you guys some very, very simple tools, and it all has to do with the things that we say to ourselves. These dialogues, these sentences, these phrases, these attacks, these discouragements that end up swimming around in our head. Like, you know, our heads can sometimes get like a cesspool if filled with all of that junk, because that's exactly what it is it's junk. And so that's why I say when I speak life to you, I want to speak truth to you so that you can know those thoughts and those dialogues that you have with yourself. You can call them what they are. They are lies. They are not just simple mistruths. They are lies. And sometimes they're so ingrained that you think they're truths, right? That's what happens to all of us. So I'm going to offer you guys over the coming weeks some simple tools about the things that we say and how you can change the language that you use with yourself to extend grace, to extend encouragement, to extend love, to extend peace to yourself. Because we know as women, we are so constantly, it's easy, it's natural to give it to other people. But when it comes to us, boy, oh boy, we get the brunt of our own anger. We get the brunt of our own disappointment. We get the brunt of our own sadness, of our own self-judgment and evaluation. And that's got to stop. And so it's my desire for you to create a thriving thought world that will bleed out into your reality and bleed out into your relationships and bleed out into your work. And I love you and I value you and I have a passion for you and I want to walk this journey with you. So will you please join me next week on Off the Couch with Dr. Sherri right here, 12:30 Tuesday, right on my Facebook page. And if you haven't followed me yet on Instagram, please do at Dr. Sherri Speaks. I'd love to see you there and engage with me as well. Please private message me, email me at drsherrispeaks@gmail.com. I want to walk the journey with you and I want your feedback. I want you as a woman to be able to uplift and encourage other women and then take that and own it for yourself so that you can encourage and uplift yourself and offer that grace and offer that love and encouragement, peace and understanding to yourself like you've been so busy doing for everybody else. You guys, I'll see you next Tuesday right here on Off the Couch with Dr. Sherri, where I'm shifting perspectives and speaking life to you so that you can have a thriving thought world.